morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I have a voice radio. So today, we need to take a little bit of a look at a new Phione card. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Although, weirdly, this was revealed in a Japanese video on the official Japanese YouTube channel, and they did put Manaphy in the title. If they can get confused about it, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think we need to feel too bad if we occasionally get these two Pokemon muddled up. I know I do. Phione, then. If we start off having a little bit of a look at the basics here, we've got 70 HP, which is low, but it does mean you're just out of range to search it out with Professor Round's lecture, which is a little bit sad, if I'm honest with you. Having said that, it is weak to grass, and Pheromosa and Buzzwole Tag Team GX would otherwise be able to get an easy one-hit KO while doing 30 to the bench, but because you got 70 rather than 60, you'll survive. I mean, look, Pheromosa and Buzzwole is weak to Reshiram and Charizard, which is the best deck in the format. I don't think it's going to start coming out and crushing anytime soon, but if it does, you need to be a little bit less scared than you were planning on being. Retreat cost of 1 is lovely because we've got stuff like Escape Board that can give you free retreat, and being a water Pokemon's quite nice. Now, the good news is you are hitting weakness on stuff like Reshiram and Charizard, and you can also use that combination of Quagsire and Quagnadle, to accelerate energy onto yourself and get rolling, and this is all lovely, but do bear in mind you've clearly got one attack that does 10 damage for a single energy, so hitting for weakness isn't really going to matter. And accelerating energy isn't really going to matter. The thing that's really sad is we're losing Brooklet Hill. Otherwise, you'd be able to search it out really nice and easily. But hey-ho, what can you do? The reason we like this here, ladies and gentlemen, is for the ability. Now, our translation comes from the lovely David Hockman over at Rappelman TCG over on Facebook. And it is an ability that I think at this particular moment is actually really, really good. What you do, once during your turn, if Phione is on your bench, you may force your opponent to switch their active Pokemon with one of their bench, then discard all cards attached to this Pokemon, and put it on the bottom of your deck. Cool. It's Repel. It's literally just Repel as an ability. It's on the bench, you discard it, boom, instant Repel. What's kind of interesting is we're seeing a bit of a trend towards these kind of abilities recently, because the Marshadow that came out in Unbroken Bonds actually had an ability whereby you discarded it off of the bench, and then you got to discard a stadium in play. But this is the second time in recent memory we've had an ability which is basically leave it on the bench, discard it to do something cool. So that's kind of nice. And look, there are some formats in which this would not be a particularly good ability. But the format into which we are heading, yeah, we kind of need this, ladies and gentlemen. This is really good. Because you see, we're losing our gusting option. Now, I've covered this in a bunch of videos. I, in fact, did a video about this exact topic. I'll try and remember to pop a link in the description. We're losing Guzma, fine. But we're also losing Counter Catcher for if you're behind on prizes. These are all cards that drag an opponent's Pokemon into the active. And we're also looking Pokemon Catcher. That's going, and that's annoying. Okay, it was on a coin flip, but heck, we used Pokemon Reversal when it was the only option. Essentially, since the errata came in, Pokemon Reversal and Pokemon Catcher are literally the same card. But it's not just that, we're also losing a lot of our make your opponent switch options. Repel itself is rotating out. Escape Rope is rotating out. We're losing our options to switch our opponent's active. And I basically told you that the two cards we're basically going to have remaining are Ninetales from Team Up, if you're willing to discard Fire Energy from your hand, but then you really need to attach that with stuff like Welder nowadays. And Custom Catcher, where you've got to play two at once. Fine if you evolve into, say, an Alolan Ninetales, but otherwise, it can be kind of tricky to pull off. So even effects where your opponent gets a choice of what to put active are going to be few and far between. By far the most prevalent one we've had up to now has been Escape Rope, and we're losing that. Now, interestingly enough, one of the better things we're left with post-rotation is actually Volcanion Prism Star, which is a water Pokemon. And although these form the same kind of strategy, they're not the same. Volcanion, you've got to discard a water energy from your hand. And look, it's better in terms of you can just do it every single turn. The thing is, Volcanion is absolutely limited to decks that are playing basic water energy. If you're not playing basic water energy, you don't get to use Volcanion. Even though this is a water Pokemon, it is not limited to water decks, because the typing here is largely irrelevant. Like I said, if we still had Brooklet Hill, the typing would be absolutely relevant, but we don't. So it's not. And look, this is a basic Pokemon. I really like this. I think if this came out pre-rotation, we'd look at it and go, we've got so many other things we can use. Post-rotation, it's a whole different ballgame. And here's the thing. Volcanion sees a lot of play. Like, pretty much all water decks play one copy of Volcanion Prism Star. Remember, it's a Prism Star, so you're not allowed to play any more than that. But most of them do. Even though we're in a format at the moment where we're still allowed to play stuff like Guzma. And that interests me very, very much indeed. Of course, we do need to circle back to the whole you've got to discard it thing. Yeah, discarding it's a problem, ladies and gentlemen. Discarding it's kind of annoying. But I'll tell you what, as long as you can get it back out, you can still use this 2 or 3 times per game. It's not sitting on your bench as a liability. I kind of like it. I'm going to be honest with you, this is a nice ability. Now, the other thing is there are a whole bunch of very niche situations where discarding it off the bench could actually be really good. Take something like Giratina. When Giratina attacks, you have to put 4 damage counters on one of your Pokemon. So as long as your opponent doesn't KO Phione on their next turn, you can just discard it and you've essentially not put the damage anywhere. But we've also got these Pokemon that do more stuff, or better stuff, if you've got fewer Pokemon in play than your opponent. So how about the Omastar, which came out in Team Up, which item locks your opponent if they've got more Pokemon in play than you do? Or maybe the Tyrantrum, which does an extra bunch of damage while taking an extra bunch of damage. To be specific, you do 60 more and take 30 less if you don't have more Pokemon in play than your opponent. Difference is, Tyrantrum works if you've got an even number of Pokemon in play. Omastar does not. Or stuff like the old Fight Alone Lucario, which did extra damage dependent on how many fewer Pokemon you've got in play than your opponent. The point is, there are plenty of things out there that actually really rely on having fewer Pokemon in play than your opponent, or more Pokemon in the discard pile. And even if you're not using the ability to make your opponent switch, you know what? It can be useful in a bunch of decks just to get Pokemon in the discard. I mean, if you're playing an Omastar deck here, you can literally play 4 unidentified Fossil and 4 Phione. You're guaranteed to start with Phione. You have to. Then you can discard them all off the bench, so you've only got Omastar in play, and you can pretty much guarantee the item lock. I'm giving this 4 Wassies because I think there's some really good uses. I don't think this is going to be good in a few months' time when we've got a whole bunch of other options for gusting and switching, but as it stands at the moment, you don't have many ways to make your opponent switch their active. This is one of the better ways we've got. Combine that with a good way to get Pokemon off your bench, which you might want to do. I'm in on this. I like it. But I would very much like to know what you think. So please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassiePlays, where we talk about games that don't even have Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.